yeah. Thank you, Don't feel good for me. Don't feel good for me. Please don't. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. Nice to see you. Yeah. I'm good. I got to get back in touch with my boy. I've been looking for him. I've been stalking him.
Yeah,
I'm your biggest fan.
Reunited.
And it feels so good, like peaches and herbs up in this.
Hey, shout out the channel, man. Shout out the channel.
This is Richie Mack, and you're watching Dontaesboxingnation. You dig?
Boy, like a pro. Get over there with the girls.
Dontaesboxingnation.
Dontaesboxingnation, what's going on, guys? Man, I'm telling you right now, this MBF league is no joke. Let me go ahead and put all this in chronological order so you guys really understand what's going on right now. So way before Shakur Stevenson and Jamel Herring fought against each other, Shakur had been chasing Oscar Valdez for over 2 years, and Jamel had been chasing Miguel Berchelt for 2 years at least. In other words, Jamel was first in line to even get a shot at Berchelt, if we're looking at seniority, right? But Bob decides to give Berchelt to Oscar Valdez. And while Shakur Stevenson has been pushing for the Valdez fight forever, according to Jamel Herring, Top Rank, they start pushing Jamel Herring to fight Shakur Stevenson. So that's exactly what took place. Then you know the rest. Shakur, he beats Jamel Herring. Then ESPN, they don't even show Shakur Stevenson's post-fight interview because they knew he was going to call out Oscar Valdez. So later on, we find out on the internet through websites that Shakur Stevenson, of course, he did call out Oscar Valdez. And he said, if I don't get the Valdez fight next, I'm going to believe that Bob Arum is protecting Oscar from me. And that turned out to be the exact case, because shortly after Shakur said that, Bob Arum, he came out and he said he wants to match Shakur Stevenson against the loser, Miguel Berchelt. So Shakur Stevenson, he puts on the best performance of his career against the best opponent, and Bob rewards him by giving him the loser instead of the guy that Bob knew he's been wanting for 2 years. So this is when Jamel comes out and he makes an excellent point. Matter of fact, he says something you would think that top-ranked matchmakers would say, because it makes a lot of sense. He says, wait a minute, I should be the one fighting Berchelt, and Shakur should be fighting against Oscar Valdez. And you know the funny thing? That's normally how it works in the sport of boxing. If there's 4 fighters, usually the 2 winners, they fight against each other next, and the 2 losers, they fight against each other. That makes all the sense in the world. Matter of fact, let me just quote exactly what Jamel Herring said. Quote, they might as well match me up against Berchelt or give me the IBF winner since everyone's being so generous. Overall, let's be honest, Shakur and Oscar Valdez is the fight to make. I'm going to enjoy this time off. No ill feelings or bitterness in my heart. Just put on good fights. Then he goes back to talking about Berchelt. He says, I like and respect him, but I chased that fight for 2 years as it is. Makes sense to make it happen. We'll see though. So Jamel Herring was the only person that was willing to get in the ring with Shakur Stevenson. That alone should at least get him the Berchelt fight. And then the winner of that fight should put them back in position to fight for a title. That is usually how it works when things are not being based on race. The disrespect in the sport of boxing is just at an all-time high. Hands down. I've never seen anything like this. It's so blatant. Bob Arum knows there's a very, very good chance Shakur Stevenson is going to destroy Oscar Valdez. I think all of us who watch boxing, we know that's going to happen. So he wants to protect him for that reason. But this is my thing. I feel like, look, if you're going to protect these fighters and give them the best fights on top of protecting them, the least you could do is come out and just tell the public, look, Shakur Stevenson is just too good. There's no way Oscar Valdez is going to win that fight. So there's no reason for me to put him in there. I mean, you might as well just come out and be honest. I mean, because you've made it so clear, why don't you just come out and just say it? Bob Arum and old media, they are desperately trying to protect the non-black fighters from the black fighters that they believe will beat them. They are going out of their way. I just read an article just a minute ago where it was an article where a writer was saying that Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez needs to marinate. Shakur has been chasing Oscar Valdez for 2 years in 2 weight classes. The Burchelt versus Valdez fight, it didn't marinate for 2 years. Speaking of marinating, what about when it comes to Canelo? I didn't hear anyone saying that Canelo versus Caleb Plant needs to marinate, Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders or Yildirim or any of these guys. Nobody ever said those fights had to marinate, right? They never said Shakur Stevenson versus Jamel Herring had to marinate. The fight only has to marinate when it's a non-black fighter that old media is hyping up against the black fighter. They did the same thing when it came to Teofimo and Devin Haney. Right after Teofimo beat Lomachenko at the post-fight press conference, one of the old media reporters, he actually said to Teofimo, "Don't you think that fight against Devin Haney should be 3 to 5 years from now?" This is what reporters were saying. They wanted to quote unquote marinate. Code words. Translation, Devin Haney is better than you and he will most likely beat you, so do not fight him. If you want to win for a couple of years and look undefeated and look unbeatable, just whatever you do, stay away from Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson, because remember, it was T.O.'s dad who said, "It don't make no sense to fight Shakur, Devin Haney, or Gervonta Tank Davis." And then his son, T.O. Jr., he starts saying, "Yeah, man, I don't think the fight with Devin Haney should happen for 3 to 5 years. Let it, quote unquote, marinate." We know what time it is. But we need more boxers to start exposing the double standards. That's how we are going to make changes. Because new media, we're doing our part, but when it comes to the boxers, they're the ones that are doing interviews on larger platforms, and they are the ones that the whole boxing world is listening to. So we need people like Shakur Stevenson, Jamel Herring, and everyone else. I'm talking about all you boxers that want to be treated fairly. Don't just fight when it only pertains to your situation. You got to speak on this whenever you see fighters being mistreated. Because trust me, if you're on that coincidental list, it's going to happen to you eventually. So with that being said, man, let's see if we can start doing something about this. It's going to take all you boxers to continue to use your platforms. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodkey.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the big day. SMPs at ScalpCarolinas. I need a real restoration. This is my makeover right here. So,
fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man ScalpCarolinas on Instagram.